We started going out 10 years ago and now we have 2 kids. We did go through a stage in our relationship when we fought a lot, but TBH that isn't the case anymore. The bigger issue is that we don't love each other. We came to this realization about 4 years ago, after we had our son. I feel looking back, that I'm not sure that we ever loved each other, and TBH I'm struggling to even understand romantic love. I look back on the period when we did love each other, and I can see it was extremely toxic, and I really don't think that's what love actually is. I kind of doubt I've ever actually experienced romantic love as he was my first boyfriend. He's a good guy. He works so hard for us, and absolutely adores his kids. He's smart and funny. Unfortunately these things just don't seem to fix it. When we do have sex it's really great, but it doesn't happen very often. Both of our faults. We've put substantial work into the relationship in the last year. We go on dates regularly and have relationship check-ins every 3/4 days and I genuinely think he's a great friend, but the love hasn't came yet. He has been saying for a long time that he'll love me someday and he can feel it coming down the line, but I'm really unsure of what it even feels like to recognize it. I dunno, maybe it's there already and I'm blind to it. We both have our flaws. He's estranged from his parents and has went through his own journey with that a few years ago, and I know I can sometimes be extremely cynical about the relationship. Everything really got to me last weekend. We attended a school friend's wedding, and I realized both of us really aren't getting what we deserve. I want to feel special, but also I want to make him feel special and lucky to have me. Seeing how other couples are with each other really highlights the lack of love in ours. He says he doesn't want time to leave, but I'm feeling as if I'm only prolonging things by staying, and if I leave we might actually get a chance sooner to get love that we deserve. Like I said, I'm cynical so I'm open to the fact that I could be approaching this in the wrong mindset. Does anyone have any advice or experience? TLDR, loveless marriage and I'm unsure whether to be patient and stay or pull the plug. You don't love each other. You're just comfortable. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but you're not going to get passionate romance from a relationship you both settled on because of familiarity. You may not even want that, but neither of you is going to get it in this relationship. You need to figure out what you want. The relationship you have is valid and worthwhile if you want it, but it's not going to be something else after this long. Right, and there's not enough talk about staying in your marriage nowadays. People see these fake Instagram relationships and it's not real life. Can you be more specific about what you mean by not loving each other? I'd say love is less of a fluttery feeling and more about what you do for each other every day. Respect, communication, honestly, etc. Do you have these things in your relationship? What is missing exactly? I definitely feel we have them values you listed. I feel that exists mutually in our relationship. I guess it's just not what I expected love to feel like, if that's it. It's very meh, and there's nothing particularly romantic or special about it. Then again, I'm not sure what I accept it to be. I know comparison is terrible, but I see our friends in relationships and a loving nature seems to beam from their relationships. What kind of vulnerability is there in your relationship? Do you tell him your goals and dreams? Does he tell you his? Do you talk about your big scary emotions and trust that he will keep them safe? For me, 5.5 years in, that's what keeps the love going. The fact that I can talk to my husband about anything, and he can talk to me about anything. I think a lot of the silly sexy love-a-dove behavior comes from the fact that I can trust him to be there for me when I'm goofy or anxious, or excited about something, or deeply disappointed, or whatever. It wouldn't surprise me if after turbulent early years, the deep trust and vulnerability never really developed. I had no idea how much I loved my partner until we experienced tragedy and we came together like a great partnership after 30 years. Your love might be like mine, deep-seated and not overly romantic, but if so, you will never experience the classic love story heart fluttering and sweaty palms syndrome. This is not necessarily a bad thing, though it has led to accusations of me being cold and passionless at times. Lots of people exhibit the classic love signals to each other, but many are superficial and no indication of genuine passion, so don't be fooled. I suggest you organize a few really wacky date nights or days away where you can get to see each other in a new light, and you might realize that though your love is set deep down, it is really there and is very powerful. Being great friends is the greatest building block to any marriage. Well, I don't know how you two work, but if I were in your situation, then I would know that it was extremely unlikely I would ever be in love with him, because if it hasn't happened in 10 years, it isn't going to happen for me. You two sound like good friends, which is good, as you have children to raise together. But I do think you'd both have a better chance at love if you broke up and started dating. But I also think you'd each benefit from therapy, whether you break up or stay together. So, you might want to start therapy and have a few sessions before making any big decisions. I feel similar, but he tells me to be patient and consistent. I also feel very unsure of myself. I know it sounds ridiculous, but at this stage I'm not even sure what love truly is. Maybe I already do love him, or maybe it's just deeply caring for him. We have both attended therapy on and off the last while. We both agreed that working on ourselves can only add to the relationship, but we have never went to couples therapy. I would be open to it. Why did you start dating? Why did you get married? What was toxic about the relationship during the time you say you thought you loved each other? I realized both of us really aren't getting what we deserve. I want to feel special, but also I want to make him feel special and lucky to have me. Seeing how other couples are with each other really highlights the lack of love in ours. What specifically did you see that you feel is missing for you? Could you both see a therapist separately and then maybe together? I think individual therapy would be helpful to parse why you're not feeling love for each other. Right, he probably has some connection issues being estranged from his family. The fact that you don't feel like you have ever loved each other is a pretty bad sign in my opinion. I read a book called Too Good to Leave, Too Bad to Stay when I was considering divorce. It's got a bunch of questions you go through and answer, and then it tells you if that means you should lean towards a breakup or staying together. The very first question in that book, before even has this person hit you, is has the relationship ever been good? If the answer is no, they say you should almost certainly break up. People don't begin to love each other after they've been in a loveless relationship for 10 years. I'd really recommend Dr. Sue Johnson's book Hold Me Tight. It explains romantic love really well and how it works. Several years ago, I was dating someone who told me he didn't love me. He told me that he didn't know what it would feel like to love me, but he did seem to expect romantic love to feel like infatuation but stronger. Yet I felt loved by him. He cared for me, shared with me, and was affectionate. I think part of our problem was that he loved me like he loved himself, disrespecting needs and avoiding praise, because that'd be prideful. Honestly, I still think he did love me. He just had a weird expectation of what love should feel like, so kept telling himself he didn't love me, instead of noticing the positives about what he felt and how he treated me. I've gone on to date other people, but I don't think he's had a serious relationship since dating me. I don't think *your answer will be any easier to find if you end this relationship. It sounds to me like you admire, respect, and care for your husband. Maybe that's enough. I agree. That new love experience doesn't last, and if she started dating someone else she may regret it and want her old life back. Whatever you do, don't stay together for the kids. If you know it's inevitable, get divorced before it becomes unbearable. If it's amicable, your biggest problem will be dividing the assets. It sounds like you two are really great friends and co-parents. My question would be, what is your definition of love? What would you want to be different? What are you looking for exactly? It's really helpful to pinpoint exactly what you feel you're missing, or want or deserve. Another thing is, you really don't have to have a reason to break up. I mean, not wanting to be in a relationship is a good enough reason to leave. Just make sure you both keep putting your kids first. They didn't ask to be here, and it's your job to love and protect them, no matter what you decide. I know the feeling. My wife and I only got married and stayed married because we were afraid of being alone. Honestly, this is normal after 10 years together. Love after all that time turns into respect and a sort of comfort. It's not all highs. The high ends after 2 years honestly. Strongly disagree. Relationship highs wear off, but that doesn't mean you don't love your partner after 10th number of years. I've been with my partner for 16 years and that thought is baffling to me. You're describing people staying too long because they're comfortable, not some normal endpoint. Don't let a bunch of Reddit nerds that aren't married give you advice. You're married, you have kids together. You'll need to figure it out together and learn to love one another. A vacation can go a long way. When you have kids, oftentimes you get so busy that you don't give each other the same attention as you had once did. You guys need to work on it and go to couples counseling or therapy. Reddit is full of idiots who will tell you to leave without understanding the impact that this will have on your children. Exactly. Reddit nerds and unhappy, divorced women. 4 ads approaches sound. Love is different for everyone, but I suspect part of it is that you two are not speaking each other's love language. Try looking into the 5 love languages and figure out what each of you need. I don't know. Even if you don't love each other, I don't think this relationship is beyond saving. If you two respect and like each other, that's the best foundation to build a good marriage upon. I think with counseling and work you could have an excellent marriage. Try and stick with it for a while. You seem to have a good head on your shoulders. Wishing you luck. So you wasted 10 years. Now you can waste 10 more, or do something about it. I don't feel I've wasted 10 years. I have 2 kids and a great friend out of it, whatever may happen. 3 questions I suggest asking yourselves. 1. Do you find each other sexually attractive? If not, then the romantic relationship will continue to suffer. 2. Do you know each other's love languages and invest 100% effort to satisfy each other's needs? 3. Do you have any common interests, or is this more of a opposites attract type of scenario? I was in a similar situation, minus the kids. Great guy, over 10 years together, but we both realized we weren't in love anymore, and we both want to be in love and to be happy. Sometimes it really is better to walk away than to continue to put time into something that isn't fulfilling you both in the ways you both need. People don't stay married out of love. You have to give and take. After a couple months of leaving, you will absolutely be happier, and there is a million men who you could connect with. Absolutely keep this man in your life. He is seemingly more of a very good friend and someone who can hopefully rely on. But if you don't know if you love him and you're already considering this, you know your answer. You only get one life. Don't second guess yourself. If you leave and feel as though you made the wrong choice, there is always chance for reconciliation, especially with that much history. Given how long it's been, if it hasn't happened by now, I don't think it's going to happen. However, while people talk about the importance of love, and I'm not saying it's not important, but it's possible to have a great relationship with someone who's your friend and life partner, whether you're in love them or not. I suppose the question is, if you want to have a loving, romantic relationship, or if you're happy in the relationship you have. I was in this same boat. I would wake up thinking, is this all marriage is? We got comfortable and neither one of us was willing to rock the boat, unless it was to criticize. We had a deep love, affection, and respect for each other, but it was getting complacent. They have love journals on Amazon that help rediscover what attracted you to your spouse, such as, what was your favorite date/experience with your spouse? What are 3 things that your spouse did that made you gain respect for them? Etc. I filled it out with my husband, and it was quite surprising how much I didn't know about him, even after 12 years together. It also opened up ways for us to communicate and be more vulnerable with one another. It was slow going, but got the ball rolling. It didn't solve all our problems, but we are working through them together, which is a major improvement. Do you make time for each other at all? You should consider getting a babysitter once a week, or once every 2 weeks, and go on dates together. Somewhere where you can talk and communicate. Maybe you're still in love, but it doesn't feel that way, because you don't spend quality time together. These things happen. Spend some time apart. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, an old saying. It is important to question what you think you want versus what you actually want versus what you now have. Think hard on this. It will come to you. It sounds like you have a terrific friendship. Keep that. A trustworthy person may be hard to find these days. May you find peace of mind. Another thought is people who have had volatile upbringings or childhoods learn that love is chaos, love is intense, whirlwind, up, down, and needed to be a lot to feel like love. Asterisk which cold have what was happening when you had toxic love at the beginning. How do you know it is not love, but instead a more mature peaceful consistent love? When I'm not in love, feel such affection for the person, and have great sex. No love or long-term relationship stays the same the whole time. Life's too short. I say leave and find love, both of you. Usually people who don't know if they have experienced real love have issues knowing who they truly are and what they need not want out of their relationships. Discover you. And if you both reconnect later then great. Also ending things amicably will at least allow for a great co-parent situation. You both still respect one another which is great, and you can have these difficult conversations which is great as well. And also, I'm sorry him and the kids are going through this. Good luck to you both. Sorry you're in his situation. But I was in a relationship for over a decade and never married her. Never felt right. We finally broke up. I started seeing some, and I knew this person I was going to marry. When love hits you, trust me you will know it.